go for the corruption that affects the most individuals. That is almost always to do with public funds. So as a journalist, you sit in your first year lectures and they say, you're going to be a voice for the voiceless. You're going to, comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. What I tried to do with it, and I got a very similar question, albeit from a much drunker person at a previous book launch, asking me why I don't go after white monopoly capital. Not the same as your question. Yours was much more educated, but it has a similar thrust. The point I made then, and I'll make it again, is in terms of this Thembisa hospital project, we started from scratch. We had a list of suppliers. We had no idea who was behind them. But it requires a special kind of psychopathy to steal from a public hospital. And I will expose you if you are white, black, Indian, Chinese. You stole from that facility. Now, does the private sector require attention? Of course, yes. But the impact on society is less, especially in this instance. I can't speak for all of journalism. I'm here to talk about this project. And the question which was posed to me was more angled around the one syndicate boss we identified, which is Stefan Govindaraju. Now, I got criticism, you probably saw it on Twitter, to say, well, you're not naming the Indian, why not? You're policing black wealth. That's the very common refrain. And someone posted a picture of Stefan Govindaraju and said, why are you not exposing this man? They posted the only picture of him that exists that we published. Do you see how idiotic that sounds? So, from a personal perspective, I've never pitched a story to my editor who said, no, Jeff, this is a white person. This is the private sector, stay away. The reality is, the majority of our focus is on the public sector because that procurement is valued at 1.25 trillion rand per year, and it affects every single one of us. That is why there's a hyper-focus on the public sector. If we had a scenario where we had fulsome newsrooms, better stocked staff, then of course we can broaden our horizons. And that's not to say we won't go near private sector corruption. The only reason we know about Marcus Jooste is because of journalists who wrote on private sector corruption. He's just one example. I agree with you. There is an imbalance. How to correct that? Angazi.